What's going on? James Bonnie's here. In this video, I interviewed a student of mine who is crushing it in the restaurant business, and he happens to be a ex-restaurant owner. So he knows how to get in the minds of restaurant owners. He will talk about how he's finding them, what he's doing for them, the best service to provide for them, what to say to them, the biggest hurdle that you will have to overcome if you want to get into the restaurant niche. Every niche has some sort of hurdle. He will share his experience, not only his restaurant experience, but his experience now being on the marketing side, and the best way to show value to them through trials first, and then how to find the restaurant owners based on revenue and what you should pitch them based on their revenue. It's a great interview. He was a brand new student in June of 2022. A month later, he came to our live event. He was there for 2 days. And since then, he's been on most of the leaderboards, especially for our restaurant challenges. And he's partnered with a ton of people in our group, and he's just crushing it overall. So I wanted to get him on, talk about HighLevel, automating his services through Go HighLevel, and setting them up and everything that he's doing and in between. Enjoy. Make sure that you like, subscribe, and comment down below. Turn the notifications on for the next video because I come out with 1 to 2 videos a week. Enjoy it. So I did a video. I don't know if you remember me. I reached out to you a couple weeks ago. I did a video on the 200. I think you landed a client that was like 200 a week for restaurants.
Yeah,
I think it was a restaurant.
review management.
Review management. And so I got a lot of comments and stuff like that about restaurants. So it seems like a lot of people want to work with restaurants. You used to own a restaurant. So I'm gonna give the audience kind of a dive, not only into how you're doing it, how you're pitching it, how you're finding them, but also kind of like, basically you used to own a restaurant. So you kind of know what ticks and what sparks interest in restaurant owners and their pains naturally. So I kind of want to dive into that. So before we get into kind of like the logistics of it, tell me a little bit about your background.
Oh, geez. So I'll start from the restaurant ownership part.
Yeah. I mean, we all have a long history, but let's start with the
exactly.
restaurant.
So let's just keep it. So, in remembrance of me being a restaurant owner, this is my logo. Used to be. Still,
Oh, nice.
I own the brand. So,
What was the name of it?
Cairo to go.
Cairo to go?
Yes. So it's an Egyptian fast casual concept.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole when we started as just Cairo to go, fast casual, everything is ready to go. And during COVID, we upped our play by adding 2 more restaurants to our portfolio. So we created Trey Pasta, which was another ghost kitchen, and then we created the Angry Five Hot Fried Chicken. So by the end of 2021, we actually had 3 restaurants coming out of the same location. And the way we did it was building brands that identifies with a specific set of customers. And you build the brand, you know your target audience, you start talking to this target audience, you're making money.
Yeah.
So we literally doubled our restaurant sales during COVID when everybody else was,
struggling,
trying to figure it out.
Yeah, it's so interesting. I almost feel like you started the ghost restaurant before Mr. Beast did. Because
actually, yes.
Yeah, because it was so weird. I remember when he was, it was the whole talk of him coming out with the Beast Burger and stuff like that. And I'm like, but I don't like what. And then I remember like a year later, it was like he's opening up his first maybe it was over here actually. I think in Jersey by Meadowlands. Maybe that was the first or second. And I'm like, wait a minute, I'm confused. The guy's like worth $1 billion, and this is like first or second. And I never heard the concept of a ghost restaurant ever until that. And now you just said this, so I'm like, you must have done it before he did.
Yeah. So it wasn't really that popular before COVID, and when actually he did it. Like, have you tried his burgers? Let's start from there.
Yeah,
it's good.
Yeah.
Dude, it's good. Yeah, I loved it. Actually, the fourth concept was probably going to be a burger concept, but it was more of a Mexican twist on burgers. So
Mhm.
it would have been fun. Um, but when we're looking at the food industry right now, almost all restaurants, 30% of their sales come from DoorDash, Uber Eats, all the third-party delivery apps. And the consumers on these third-party delivery apps are a lot different than consumers who are walking into your restaurant. They're
Right.
probably the same, but when they're ordering, they're a whole different mindset. So people need to be very mindful of how they approach their customers these days, because it's not about cooking food that is good anymore. Like, it's standard. Good food is standard, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you have to have a flair, and you have to have a strong brand behind what you're doing. That way you can actually sell as much food as you want.
Right. Yeah. It's very interesting to me. And the risk is low because you don't have to pay for, brick and mortar. You don't have to do any of that stuff.
So it really all depends. So I right now I'm working with ghost kitchen clients. I have, like, for the marketing, and I coach other ghost kitchen owners as well. So if you go in and you start a ghost kitchen on one of those ghost kitchen hubs, it's still
Yeah.
very expensive. It's not cheap.
Right.
But if you own your own restaurant, and if you already have a good, consistent cash flow, and you have good operations, and this is
Hmm.
where it gets very tricky, because you want to add another layer of complexity on top of the
Right.
whatever you are doing. It's not easy, especially if you're working off of a whole different concept. Like, my original concept was an Egyptian restaurant, but then we literally moved into tray pasta, which is a whole pasta concept with white sauce, pink sauce, red sauce, all you can eat pasta. Or I'm sorry, what was it called? Um, Kind of like build your own pasta concept,
Right.
and
Right.
then you
Right.
do all of this stuff. So you literally have all of the operations that goes into this, because there's still the cooking part involved,
Hmm.
right?
Yep.
So you still need to cook, and those cooks of yours need to be trained on cooking this specific item, so that it becomes a success. So
Right.
you really have to have. Here's how I look at it. Okay, the basic building. I'm Egyptian, so we'll talk in pyramids term.
Hmm.
Okay, so the basic building block for any successful restaurant is its brand identity.
Right.
Who you're trying to sell to, and what are you trying to sell. Like, don't say I'm an Egyptian guy, so I have Egyptian food. What else? Like,
Right. Right.
what makes you unique? You know what I mean? Second part would be, like, the second building block would be the operations part of it. How are you managing your staff, and how are you managing the process of getting food from the raw part all the way to the finished products, and
Hmm.
as fast as possible, as most efficient as possible, and as good as possible, right?
Right.
Because
Of course.
your clients are going to judge you. So how do you manage this process? And then the third part would be your marketing, because if you don't have marketing, you're done.
Of course.
Like,
And that's where we come in.
exactly, and it's very important. And then the last part would be the reputation piece, which is like the top of the pyramid kind of thing. Bless you. So the marketing and the reputation, you have to make sure that you have both of them and they're intertwined. But I usually see the marketing as like the reputation part as like the top of the pyramid, because it's just the holy grail. Once
Yep.
you're known, like, imagine a restaurant with 1,000 positive reviews.
Sure.
These guys don't need marketing. Like,
Right.
they're
Right.
done.
Yep.
That's it. So yeah, that's as simple as it is.
And so when you're talking to them, do are you like what are you cold reach outreach, or is it now become referrals? Like, what's the
So to me, it's more referrals, a mixture of all, to be
Mhm.
honest. Referrals, cold outreach, and a little bit of Upwork. So
Mhm.
if somebody's like a restaurant on Upwork, they have to be mine.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I'll bid as high as I can, but I'll get them.
Yeah, it's funny. One of the videos I'm going to do in the next couple of weeks is like a Upwork free Upwork training,
Yeah.
because there's so much gold in there, but people don't want to get past that that initial, just constantly putting bids out, never winning them. But once you do, and you got a couple couple wins and a couple reviews, it becomes easier and easier.
Yeah,
So
100%. I found a little bit of a way to do it. So I kind of, you always have to tie whatever you have in your proposal to whatever, the client wants. And you have to make sure that they match, and you have to prove, like if there's a restaurant on Upwork who's asking for marketing, I'll send them the case studies. I'll make
sure.
sure that I understand what the brand is and how to build it and what the process is. I'm sorry. So, it's just a matter of showing value.
Yep. First, yeah.
Yeah.
And so, do you have like a standard rate that you charge them?
For restaurant owners, lead gen is around 1 grand. And the so I package it in a different way. I usually look at it from because I'm a coach and I'm a marketer, so it's almost always anywhere between 750 to 1 grand for the whole package.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if I'm working with a smaller, side
Yeah.
restaurant. And if I'm doing the coaching part, it's 750 again. So if they're taking both, they have a better special rate. That's
Right.
how I build it. But the beauty of restaurants is you can literally have one campaign on Facebook running for month on end
And
and
never
still
change it.
generating results. You're not going to
Yeah.
be changing it.
Now, when you say lead gen, you're basically running like local $5 a day brand ads essentially, right? Or you're having like a free appetizer, or like you have some sort of offer on it, correct?
Yes. So the way I do it is very simple. I usually ask. So here's the thing, and this is one of the things that I tell all of my coaching students and everybody in this process is there are only 4 ways to make more money in any business,
Mm-hmm.
right? Number one is getting new customers through the door,
Yep.
getting the same customers to buy more often, getting the same customers. This is very important for restaurants. Getting the same customers to buy more per visit. So
Mm-hmm.
every time they come in, you need to know how to upsell on them.
Yep.
Number four is just raising your prices, plain and simple.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, raising your prices has its place, but you have to provide extra value. Nobody's just like, it was 10, now it's 15. Nobody's going to be
Right.
happy.
Right.
You know what I
They
mean?
got to get a little, feel like they're getting a little more out of it. Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, when I'm doing Facebook, especially Facebook lead gen, my go-to is usually figure out how to get as much content or contact information as possible.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm giving out a free appetizer in return for, let's say the name, email, and phone number. That's my biggest three.
Yep.
And then they go into a sequence of emails, texts, and just prompting them to pick up the phone or go online and put in an order, and we take it from there. It's just a matter of getting more people into the funnel.
Now, are you trying to get them to like place an order online, or you're just trying to get them into the sequence to then start, um, pitching them or getting them in the door or whatever it might be?
The way I build it is, here's a free something, whatever it is.
Do you mind if I share my screen and jump into one of your accounts?
Yeah, sure, man. Go ahead.
Which is a good one to look at?
Let's do grits and waffles. She's a former owner, but she's a former client. But I love her. She's okay. She would be okay with me doing this.
Oh wait, what am I doing? You said grits and waffles, right? So you run Facebook ad with these with them or no?
So, yes. So Facebook ads. I'm not running anything for her right now, but a very good example would be because the amount of people who are coming in and just converting into orders was just massive.
Oh, really?
This way. Yeah.
Yeah, look at this one. 1,400 people enrolled in this one.
Oh, yeah. Oh, dude, we ran the customer appreciation one. It bumped her reviews to 80 to 85 just in 1 week. And then from there, I ran an automated review management sequence for people order through her website.
Mm-hmm.
Boom, it goes into the funnel. Boom, they get the texts.
Right,
And
leave a review.
Dude, right now she's literally working her ass off just based off the reviews. No marketing necessary.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting to see how this works. If you want to check out a live one, we can actually do what's their name? Pizza Baby. Let's do Pizza Baby for that. So this is actually a ghost kitchen as well. So they have 423 people,
And that's for
and
a free app.
no, a buy one, get one pizza.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So basically on this side, so for Journey, for Grits and Waffles, she almost had she had her funnel set up and she had already a lot of contacts.
Hmm.
For these guys, they're brand new, like they're only 3 months into the business.
Nice.
So I'm building their contact
Yep.
list one person at a time. And now we're at 423. By the end of the next month or so, it's probably going to be anywhere
It's
between
all
five.
people you can keep marketing to.
Exactly,
Yep.
exactly.
And
Bring it.
this is a simple lead form,
Yeah.
Facebook lead form. All right.
No.
So this is a simple lead form with like
Mhm.
just a branding ad or just kind of like a quick offer in it in an image.
Yep.
Local area. How far out you going?
4 to 5 miles, depending
Four
on
to
where
five
you're
miles.
at.
And
So
how
there,
big of a population is that?
oh, dude, LA, it's right 150.
Oh, so you're in LA. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's because that's why the bigger the city, the smaller the radius.
Yeah, and
Uh,
it's crazy. Like if you really think about it, like most people who are opening up a restaurant, they're just opening up a restaurant. Like there's no, and then they're spending probably what, like they want to send flyers out. So you're talking about, with postage, you're gonna have to send out what, 20, 30, 40, 50,000 flyers at,
Yep.
28 cents a piece, depending on, I don't know if they give a little bit of a deal when you send so many out. And you have no idea. And then if they throw the flyer out, you've wasted money. Now with this, you're how much are you spending a day on it?
$20 a day
So 20
for that.
bucks a day, your reach is 1,000 people, 2,000 people,
2,000 people on average.
2,000 people, local
Yep.
area, and building it
Yep.
up. And it's a simple lead form, just a quick email. They get a
That's it.
code, right?
Yep.
And are they buying it online
Yes. So
for
I'm giving
delivery?
online. So delivery, because it's a ghost kitchen, so everything has to go through their website, and I think that's beautiful because it's easier for me to track the results.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if it was a dine-in restaurant, it gets a little bit harder, but it's not that hard. It's just a little bit of a tweak that we need to do.
And I remember you telling me that you with maybe one or two of your clients that you tied into the POS system.
Yes. So it really depends on the the API integration and if that company is willing to share that with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this is where restaurants get hard because not all point of sales are willing to, play with
Connect.
everybody
Yeah.
in a way that makes things easier.
Hmm. And so a lot of people ask, well, then how do you get a contact list? How do you so I may answer this as I'm talking, but as far as you could export out of a POS system, correct?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes, of
very easily.
course. Of course.
Which would have name. You might not have the email unless they ask for it. Well, that's not. Well, yeah, because if it's in dining, they're just running the card.
Yep.
Um, and then I don't know if you've had any clients where they've had to collect the info in the restaurant.
So it really depends on how the restaurant owner is playing this. So some of them they have what I would call like loyalty programs,
Yeah.
right? And when you have a loyalty program, it's very easy to, hey, get a $10 off whatever, blah blah blah, and then you take this and you do this, and you just need to fill in your name, phone number, and email. And if they do that, you're golden. You
Yep.
like That's it. So some restaurant owners I will talk to, and they have a list of thousands, but they're
Mhm.
not doing anything with it.
Yep.
And it's like, dude, you're sitting on a gold mine. You just don't know.
Yeah. And so a big question I get is, would a restaurant really be willing to spend 1,000 a month, uh, even 200 a week, uh, even more than that, right? Would they be willing to spend that? Now I already know the answer to, but like explain a little bit why they would.
So it depends on the type of restaurant owner.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
it depends on who you're talking to. And I was actually thinking about putting a video together for like the types of restaurant owners that you're probably going to meet.
Mhm.
But in a very short sense, what you really need to do is A, you need to show value, and B, you need to understand that not all restaurant owners are created alike. So if you're talking to a mom and pop shop that is still using handwritten checks, these
Mm.
guys are not going to be your best bet. Like
Yeah. Mhm.
just run. The restaurant owner that you want to have a conversation with is someone who's willing to grow as fast as humanly possible and understands the value that you're providing, and last but not least knows that they can't do it all,
Mhm.
because they can't do it all. Nobody can do it all. And with the restaurant industry, it's even harder because you have so many moving
Things.
pieces,
Yeah.
and marketing is very important for restaurants. So if they know that they can do it all and they understand that, yes, they will be willing, because 1 grand a month is less than a cook's consist like a full-time cook will probably be paid more than that.
Sure.
So it's not much of an investment anyways.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think that, they restaurants don't have money when people make a lot of money in the restaurant
Dude,
business.
they make millions.
I know. I know.
Yeah.
But I think people just don't like, they think of a restaurant as like, a deli or like even a pizza shop. Although, I mean, talk about money. Pizza shops, our Vinny's down the street, Vinny's Pizzeria, it's been around since we moved here when I was 8. Um, I mean, I can't even imagine the amount of money that guy
Yeah.
brings in. There's 3 shops in our thing. They're all every Friday, Saturday, Sunday. They're packed,
Fact.
completely
Yeah.
packed. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And so if you wanted to open up a pizza shop in this area, you could you could bring in a lot of the business if you know how to do the marketing. And that's the whole
Exactly.
point of it.
Exactly. Build
Now,
good offers.
and a good offer. Yeah, exactly. Now, now this is where I take the conversation because I'm always thinking big. Where like have you and people who've watched my videos on YouTube, I went through like the evolution. I'll put the video up on top. The evolution of kind of this business where it's like, at some point you personally could pivot into just being the restaurant guy, right? Where you can now teach restaurant owners through a video course and
Dude,
sell it.
I have the brand name already. I'm working on it.
Oh, okay, good. So
Matter of
you're following the
yeah.
evolution of this.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm probably gonna call it Restaurants Rise. So
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna be a mixture of online course, coaching program, and marketing services. And being a restaurant owner, one of the biggest challenges for me was I had a very, very good restaurant coach. The guy was one of the best, but he wasn't a marketing guy. He was a systems guy. And he would always tell me, I'm a systems guy. I know marketing people, but I'm a systems guy.
Yeah.
Uh, but now I'm a systems guy and a marketing guy and a coach. So I
Right.
can
All of it.
literally package all of them at the same time and just push from there.
Yeah. What do you think is the easiest sell when it comes to restaurants? Like, what
Reputation management, hands down. Don't even think.
and why is that?
Everybody will check your restaurant's reviews before
Yeah.
they do. So it's when I'm saying new customers through the door, the only service that ties to all three is reputation management. New customers are going to check your reviews. Old customers are still going to check your reviews just to see what's up. And if you want to get someone in more often, you have to provide excellent service, which will eventually tie into your reputation as well. And so it keeps going.
Yeah. So you would say reputation management, and then like a branding offer on
Yeah.
lead gen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or message marketing. It really all depends on what, if they do have a list, start with
Then
message
you could do the
marketing.
message marketing. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's easier.
It's a very, I think restaurants is a very easy, in my opinion, it's an easy sell. And it's fat. And a lot of the restaurants, they're not getting hit up by marketing people a lot because they, marketers think of SEO, they think of, Facebook ads, but don't really think of local, like brand building. And so like, it's restaurants are really not a very big, I don't want to use the word saturation, but like they're not getting hit up like some of the, like the doctors or the PI lawyers or, like those
Yes.
home
So
run
so
hitters.
let me rephrase. So yes, not hit up. So they are hit up by a lot of people, but not the right people.
Right.
So when I was during my restaurant years, I got a lot of phone calls from people trying to do SEO, right?
Hmm.
SEO is not a restaurant game. Restaurants are top of mind kind of deal, right? So the only SEO you really need is having
Reviews.
150 or 250 five-star reviews on Google. That's
Right.
it.
And then you're gonna rank.
Yeah, that's basically it. You don't need more than that.
Hmm.
Uh, so when you, and this is where most marketers fail when they're discussing, stuff with restaurant owners who start discussing their services, is that they just fail in showing the value that they can provide and tying it to the restaurant owner's goal. So,
Hmm.
hey, so and so, what are your goals? Well, I want to double my sales. So, how do you plan to do that? Well, this is where they stop. So
Yeah.
they have lists, yes. So let's tie it into bringing in new customer, more your existing customers more often. Message marketing. How do you collect reviews? Well, I don't. Well, let's create this so and so, and then start collecting as many reviews as possible for you. And
Exactly.
once you do that, it becomes like a no-brainer.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Now, did you ever do our restaurant challenge in the group?
Oh yeah, yeah. Here's the thing. I never did it myself,
Mhm.
but I had a lot of people do it and then contact me, and we partnered up and we started, having conversations with the restaurant owners all the time. But it works. It
Yeah,
works
that's awesome.
100%.
That's awesome. So where do you envision yourself in the next 6 months?
Well, I'm tied in between the whole restaurant
Yeah.
growth thing, and I'm also crushing it at med spas. So I'm really in between those two. But I'm probably gonna lean into the restaurants because I just know the industry like the back of my hand. It's easy.
Hmm.
So I'm probably gonna lean into restaurants, just evolution, just like
Yeah,
you mentioned.
that's it. It's the
Yeah,
evolution. Now, when you were at our live event in July, were you working with restaurants or med spas, or was
I
this kind of
had
like a
I had one restaurant and one med spa.
gotcha? Okay.
Yeah.
You were just starting to
Yeah, I,
get.
I was only 4 months into LMV.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh, nice.
yeah,
Did the live event help at all?
dude, it was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, the conversation that we had about sales, it just
Uh,
cleared up a lot of things. It made sales easier. Let's just put it this way.
yeah, I always tell people, the live events is just it's kind of like it could be the pivotal point because you're in person and you're having discussions and you're not behind a computer alone in a bedroom, which a
Yes,
lot of people are. So
yes, yes.
it sounds all good. What would you recommend for people who want to get into landing restaurants as clients? Would it be cold outreach? Would it be trials? And if you did a trial, would it be like for a few days, for a week? What's your suggestion?
So start with the trial. That's my go-to because restaurant owners are skeptics.
Yeah.
And they have a tight budget. So one more fact about restaurants: there's a lot of cash flowing in, but there's also a ton of cash flowing out,
Hmm.
and the profit margins are usually very slim. So their go-to is, I want to increase my sales without really increasing my spending. So if I give you any money, I need to make sure that it's going to work. So that's why I usually give the free trial out.
Hmm.
Uh, with that, it's message marketing almost all of the time if they have a list. If they don't, I would pivot into reputation management as the trial. Hey, you got like 5, 6, 7, 8 reviews
From
just
this.
this week, and you're not really doing anything. And all restaurant owners can relate to having positive reviews. Like nobody's gonna be upset about it, especially
Hmm.
with the gates, dude. It's genius.
Yeah.
Just put it this
It's
way.
a no-brainer.
Yeah, yeah, 100%.
And then, like, if it's a medium-sized restaurant, what would you charge? No,
Uh,
without coaching, no
if
coaching.
they're making anywhere between 100 to 150 grand a month, easily 2 grand, easily
How much?
1,500 to 2 grand. If they were making anywhere between 100 grand to 150 grand a month, like selling for $3,000 a day, that's basically
Uh-huh.
3 to 4 grand. That easy, you can charge anywhere between 1,500 to $2,000 for the lead gen,
For
the
all
whole
three,
package,
the whole
you know?
package.
Yes. If they're making less, like let's say they're starting out, they're still making 30 grand to 30 to 50, they're still, trying to figure stuff out. 1 grand for the whole package will just fine.
So everybody can hear from it from firsthand experience. Restaurants have money; they're willing to spend it. You just got to show the
100%.
value first, and that's it.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, 100%. 100%.
All right, man. What you got any last words for the audience?
People who want to market to restaurants, just stay the course. Make sure that when you're having a conversation with a restaurant owner, that you show them the value firsthand. Like reviews can help your business. They already know it, but they don't know that you can do it for them. So be very, very clear. Like, don't go all the way. It's like, I can do this and I can do this, and just focus on one, get it done, and then move to the other one. Once they buy into you, they buy into you. They don't have time. They just want to get stuff done. So
Exactly.
that's my go-to.
Sweet, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for your time.
That's my pleasure.
And then maybe I'll get you back on for med spa.
Cool. Yeah, that would be fun.
All right, sweet. Hang on.
All right.